Well, hi everyone. This is Joe with Couture Fitness, and I've got our beautiful client Katie on today with us, and she's going to tell us about her experience working with us. Katie, do you want to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about how you came to Couture Fitness?
Hi. Yeah, sure. So, hi, I'm Katie. I'm in my mid 30s and I have struggled with my weight and body image my kind of entire life and feel like I've tried a lot of different things, which we'll probably get into in a second. But I have a wedding coming up this fall. And so this past spring, I was in a kind of really desperate place. And so I reached out to Couture because I was willing to do the work, but I just wasn't quite sure what work to do.
Yeah, okay. And so what were you doing? Were you actively trying to lose weight when you came to us? And what were you doing?
Yes-ish. So last year in 2021, I had met with a functional or like a holistic doctor, and she had suggested I try keto or at least a keto leaning diet that was really high in fat, moderate protein, and really, really low in carbs. And I actually really enjoyed like eating nuts and cheeses by the handful, but I hated that I like couldn't eat fruit or oatmeal or some of those things that I used to love. She had given me a calorie goal and I was tracking. But what I've realized since joining your program is that by measuring versus weighing things, I probably wasn't tracking as accurately as I do now. And so I had had some short-term success. I think you'll always have short-term success when you cut out an entire food group. And so I thought it was working for me. And then over winter and over vacations, my lifestyle just kind of couldn't continue to maintain not eating carbs. And so slowly all the weight I lost had crept back on, plus some. And so that's when I was in a very, very desperate place and reached out to Couture.
Okay, and what were you doing in terms of exercise?
So I don't do a lot of cardio, but I was doing strength training just at home. I had bought the Bowflex adjustable dumbbells as my like New Year's resolution for myself.
Mhm.
But I would say I was a little aimless in what I was doing. Tried to kind of program myself, some lower body, upper body type stuff, but I don't think I was coming at it from like a very scientific or like intentional angle.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's cut to the chase. What have your
Yeah.
results been? So you started working with us really in kind of late March, early
Yep.
April. As we're talking, it is the middle of August, and your goal, when I did the consult with you,
Yeah.
your goal was that you wanted to fit into your wedding dress with no alterations. And so tell us your results so far.
Yeah, so I had had my dress fitting in early March, and I think we were going to have to add probably about 3 or so inches to get it to zip up in the back. And when I had my fitting here, actually a couple weeks ago, she, put me into it. She walked away. I figured she was, getting the measuring tape to figure out what to add. And I said, "So how are we doing?" And she said, "It's up. It's zipped. You're breathing." So that was absolutely incredible. And I honestly didn't think it was even a realistic goal when I got started. And even sometimes early on in the weeks when it just feels like, oh, maybe a pound here, a pound here, it didn't really feel like it was going to be enough. I didn't know how much weight I would have to lose to get it to fit into it. So it was, like I said, kind of I didn't know if it was reasonable or not, but I'm in, I can breathe, and mission accomplished. On to the next goal.
Yay, yay. Okay, so you are going to look amazing on your wedding day, which isn't till the end of September. So I think she may even have to like take it in a bit. I mean, if you keep going on your current trajectory.
Yeah,
So,
that would.
um, but yeah, okay. And so what has that translated to in terms of like the scale, pounds, inches, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so it's been several inches, kind of mainly kind of in my like bust and actually kind of all over. It's been a couple inches. It's been 20 pounds, which feels significant in and of itself, but I've also done the in-body scans to try to track the body composition, and it's been effectively all fat. So no muscle loss despite, being in a caloric deficit. And so it's really just changed kind of what my body looks like and how it fits in all my clothes. And my guns are showing on my arms a lot more. And so just a very much more like toned physique than I
Yeah.
started with.
Okay. And then I'm happy to report that you are eating carbs. You're eating lots of carbs. That was the first
Yeah,
thing
I'm
that
probably
changed.
eating about 5 times the amount of carbs than when I started. And I noted that I still like find myself like eating, you know, cauliflower rice and things, various things like that, that I started on keto, but I can still add more carbs in other places, and, you know, more fun carbs than maybe just rice would be to me naturally. So
Yeah. So yeah, I think when we did our consult call, you said I am a sugar burner. I can't eat carbs. My body probably won't lose weight, and some other stuff. But I think
yeah,
what we found, and I think this is important for anyone you were working hard. It's not like you were laying on the couch doing nothing, eating whatever you felt like. You were following a program. I think what we determined, though, it just wasn't really calibrated towards anything, and your exercise, while you were exercising, it wasn't particularly effective
yeah,
for the goals that you were trying to accomplish. And so just if you are out there and you feel like you're working very hard and not getting results, it doesn't mean that it's definitely or necessarily like a lost cause for you. You can be following a diet, but it can be poorly programmed or not calibrated, and not give you, and still very, very restrictive and miserable, and not give you any results.
yeah.
So you are kind of an example of that, but I'm very happy that you're eating carbs again.
Yes.
So tell us, how are you doing it practically? How are you fitting in the tracking, the exercising? Like, how are you fitting this into your lifestyle?
Yeah, so the exercising, I'm really lucky. I work from home and I've kind of invested in more home gym pieces. So I actually kind of typically squeeze in my strength workouts throughout the day. I have, you know, I had a low cardio goal. It's gotten up a little bit as we're trying to fine tune things before the wedding, but you know, I break the hour up into, you know, 10 or 15-minute increments on, you know, 4 or 5 different days. And it's really manageable to fit that in and just listen to a couple fun songs. As far as the eating and the tracking, so I typically do a pretty intense kind of meal prep on Sundays. I don't love to cook. I also hate to clean. So doing it all at once is kind of the easiest way for me to do it. And it also makes it where I can go ahead and like preload meals and things into my fitness tracker, so that it's really easy during the week when I'm feeling more tired or more busy to be able to kind of load things. And I will say the weighing of food can sometimes feel, you know, a little bit more like a burden, and, you know, trying to make sure I get the exact amount. So I like to like pre-portion snacks. So once again, I'm, you know, measuring it all at once, and I know what it will be when I go and pull it out of the fridge, you know, later in the week. But I would say overall, you know, I was doing a lot of these things already. I just wasn't necessarily doing them correctly, or I was taking a bunch of, you know, bites, licks, and tastes of things, and not always, you know, adding them to my tracker. And so I think just being more honest when I do those things, like if I'm doing the effort, I might as well also be honest about it. I think, you know, that's made a huge difference. I tell everyone, if you think you're tracking your food, try weighing it. And also just being more conscious of nutrition labels and how, you know, the nutrition facts are, you know, kind of shown to the public, because it's not always exactly what you think you're getting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Okay. Has it felt overly restrictive to you?
No, it's been awesome. I have developed a much more appreciation for protein and the role that it plays. I love, you know, getting to have oatmeal and banana. The one thing I miss is peanut butter. I'm like a huge peanut butter person, and I still can squeeze that in on certain days. But I've also, you know, found replacements. So there's some certain, you know, peanut butter flavored protein powders, or just the powdered peanut butter. Even if I mix that in with water or yogurt, it kind of satisfies that, you know, itch, and, you know, with much better kind of nutrient profile.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Okay, and then in your words, can you describe like what you get when you sign up for this program in terms of like all the components of the program?
Yeah, so obviously macro target. So it's not even, a nutrition plan or exact recipes that you have to follow. It's just your macro targets and you hit them kind of how you want to hit them. The program provides some guidance or some, example meal plans, but it's really up to you to do what you want and what you like. But more than that is that someone else is also looking at it and kind of, keeping you honest or, kind of adjusting it and being a little bit less emotional about it. If I don't see the scale moving, I might say, oh, I need to start restricting. I need to start cutting. And Joe, you are more objective when you look at my numbers and, what to do and how to change them or when to change them. Same thing, fitness plan. You do get kind of pre-described moves and kind of rep counts, and then you're kind of encouraged to, increase weights, as you, continue to grow your strength. But one of the things I was worried about is like, maybe I'm not making gains because I'm not doing the moves correctly. Well, thankfully, Coach Hillary is one of the coaches we have at our disposal. And I've now sent her, a bunch of videos of me doing all of my moves, and she's been able to offer like form correction or, just better tips and tricks of, the mind muscle connection and how to get the most out of those moves. I think the thing I probably discounted the most was the kind of mindset aspect. And I think it comes from both the coaching calls. So there can be, 2 to 3 a week, to kind of depending on the session, it feels like. But then there's also like the social community, like the social media and like the community aspect, and learning from other women that are in similar or slightly different positions and kind of following their progress and, celebrating their wins, but, feeling seen, through their struggles. And I just think there's a lot to get from that. And one of the mindset things that Joe, you taught us was kind of living as your future self. What would Katie that fits in that dress, what decisions would she be making? And when I had a bunch of vacations earlier this year, I did that, right? So I made sure I prioritized my workouts. I like tried to hit a protein goal, but I wasn't totally intense about all of my nutrition goals. And I really think some of those mindset decisions are what helped me like reach my goal. I think, if I had just kind of continued living as old Katie or not seeing the progress as fast as I wanted it, could have derailed me getting to where I am today. So I think that part's huge and really unexpected.
Yeah. So I think, so it's a pretty interactive program. You're interacting with your one-on-one coach who gives you your fitness and nutrition plan every week. She will reach out to you, whether you want to be reached out to or not, and check on you and recalibrate things as they are needed. As you mentioned, there's group coaching calls. There's, a community within our Facebook group. So I guess, do you think your experience would have been different? So we tried to provide a lot of support, is what I'm trying to say. But do you think you would have had a different experience if you had just, come to us when you would have said, okay, here's your nutrition and workout plan. We'll see you in 12 weeks.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I think I talked to a different coach from a different program, and she, has a workout plan and like a, nutrition plan, but it's the same for everyone. And I think what I really value about your guys' program is you like work with people like specifically like where they are and like how they're coming to you and what's safe and what's ideal for their situation, what they have access to at home. I think you make it really livable, like really, you got to be willing to do the work, but you make it, I think, I feel comfortable with like the work I'm being asked to do. And that it's easy to fit into my lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, and I will just say you would not have had the same results that you have now because we've recalibrated things several times. So if I just gave you macros and a workout plan and said, see you later, or here you go, have at it, your results would have been very different. So it is a very calibrated process. Okay. Who would you say, like, if this is for, and who is it not for in terms of our program?
So I mean, I'm a huge data nerd and I'm like kind of super curious about this area in general,
Mhm.
which is what made it all the more frustrating to feel like I knew what I needed to do and feel like I was doing it and not seeing the results that I wanted. So I would say if anyone, kind of feels like they're just like spinning their wheels and not getting anywhere, but they're trying, I feel like this program will blow your mind. I think you'll be shocked by what the program and the support like will help you achieve. Um, I feel like most of the women that are the folks that are like seem successful from what I see are like really engaged and they call into the coaching calls, they're engaged in the community. I think you have to be willing to kind of make it a lifestyle and like invest in your health. But I think that the results are worth it. I think, if tracking feels like a huge burden to you, or you come up with a lot of excuses to not do things, or say, oh, it's just the weekend, how badly can it mess up my results? Um, maybe you're not desperate enough yet. I don't know. I just feel like it might not give you the exact results that you want in your mind, but I think if you're already doing some amount of work and you just want to, kind of fine tune it and see those results, I think this program is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say like, if you want to be told exactly what to do, if you're willing to put in the work, but just want someone to tell you exactly what to do, we are your people. If, yeah, you don't have the time for it, you feel too busy already to fit any sort of lifestyle change in, or, this sounds like a burden, maybe not the best investment of your time or money. But we will tell you what to do. Very happily. Okay. But with flexibility, I mean, we don't tell you like you must eat eggs for breakfast and this for lunch. You get to choose how we give you a budget and we change that budget as we need to, but you get to decide how to kind of, decide what food fits into that budget. So in that way, it's very non-restrictive. You do also have to be willing to lift the weights. That's a big, big component of the program. But as you said, you now have the guns to show for it. So, okay. Any sort of non-weight loss victories or things that you want to mention that you've gotten from working with us?
Um, Honestly, I don't know if it's just been what's been happening in my life outside of this program, but this has probably been the best 6 months of my life. And honestly, getting married this year and kind of coming up into that, like, I think finally like getting a hold of some of those body image issues and feeling like the best version of myself is allowing me to be an even better partner for my fiance. He is threatened that I'm about to get stronger than him. So
That's
he's
good.
also started kind of stealing my weights occasionally and also, kind of eating on plan with me because that's what, is getting made and what's available in the house. So I think just kind of overall the taking the burden and the pressure off of me trying to figure out like why aren't things working, is there something wrong with my body, and actually I don't know, getting the endorphins of the workout and kind of the endorphins of the success just has given me so much more like agency and control. And, I make decisions because I want to, not because a coach is like dictating things to me. And so I just feel like it's kind of changed a little bit of my perspective of how I live my life. And that's just given me a lot more kind of internal power, which is once again an unexpected benefit from this.
Yeah, I think I can really relate to that because when kind of I discovered this lifestyle and, had the same weight, just kind of obsessions about weight and managing my weight. And I wasn't actually ever all that overweight, but it just kind of preoccupied my brain. So then when I found like, okay, there's a solution and it's really empowering. And so I always, people want to be happy or confident, but I always say empowerment is the best feeling of all. And that is our aim, is to empower sort of everyone to take control of their health. And naturally, when you take control of your health, sort of, I think other things in your life get better too. So it does have a cascade effect. We have definitely seen that. So, okay. Well, thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
And we are enrolling for our October program. We usually sell out our program. So if you're interested, definitely book a consult call with us. Katie will attest, it's no pressure. It's not a high pressure call.
No.
It'll mainly just be a conversation, and the last thing we want to do is talk someone into this that's that it's not for. So, but you can book a consult call if you have questions, or go to our website. All of the links are in the comments to this video if you want to get signed up and reserve a spot in our next October program. And Katie is going to share her wedding pictures when she gets them, and she's going to look amazing. Okay, thanks, Katie.
Yep, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.